Hey guys, so in today's video I want to take you through the process to go from $0 to $50,000 a month for your cleaning business. So the overriding strategy here is focus. It is very easy, particularly for those of you that are starting out, to be distracted by lots of different marketing, to be distracted by getting a nice website, but distracted by recruiting, and all these different marketing channels. And really the way that you're going to grow quickest and the way that you'll hit that $50,000 a month target as quickly as possible is by focusing on those areas that work. So I'm going to take you through the exact marketing channels to focus on, and these will get you the quickest results and will get you to that $50,000 number as quickly as possible. So the first area to look at are the pay-per lead sites. So one of the things that I find, as I said, is very common is that business owners, particularly startups, will spend a lot of time trying to plan for their business, plan for their launch, get their website absolutely perfect. And really, my view is that whilst that is important, we need to get the ball rolling. We need to get those first few customers in. Arguably, that is the most important starting point for our business. Sure, we need a decent website. It doesn't need to be perfect. We need to obviously have our pricing set up and have done a bit of research, but then all our efforts should be on finding those new customers and growing the business. So in my view, the pay-per-lead sites like Thumbtack and Bark are a really great way for new startup businesses to really get out the blocks. Bark and Thumbtack are a pay-per-lead site. So as I've talked about in other videos in my channel, you essentially buy a contacts lead. If you find, say, someone is looking for a weekly recurring service in your area, you can opt to purchase that lead from Bark or Thumbtack. There will be a price at X number of dollars, and once you purchase that lead, you can then get the phone number and the email and contact details of that lead, and then you can follow up with them, and then obviously you want to try to close them. So this is a really great way to get right out the blocks. You just need to set up a Bark or Thumbtack account, and you can start to see the leads come in, and you can start buying leads and getting those customers in. And in my view, this is the absolute quickest way to get clients into your business. So Bark and Thumbtack, although they are fantastic for starting out as a business, later on as your business builds momentum and builds revenue, they are less effective. There are other marketing channels that are more effective, and I will talk about these in the next few minutes. But Bark and Thumbtack is a great place to start. You are not locked in for any contract, any 12-month contract or anything like that. Angie's List is another pay-per-lead site, but they do require you to sign up for a long contract. You definitely want to avoid that at the beginning. You want to stay nimble, you want to stay flexible, particularly as a startup. So focus on Bark and Thumbtack, set up accounts with them, start to see the leads come in, buy those leads and try to get those first customers. And once you get those first few customers, that'll give you the confidence, that'll build momentum, and you'll really start to build growth into your business. So Thumbtack and Bark as the pay-per-lead sites is really the first place to focus. Point two in the next area is to set up a Google local service ads account. And this is actually Google's pay-per-lead site. So it works in a similar type of way. So Google will send you phone calls or will send you inquiries from people looking for cleaning services. The difference between local service ads and Bark and Thumbtack is that Bark and Thumbtack will sell a particular lead to multiple cleaning companies. So you are in effect competing with other cleaning companies for that work. With Google local service ads, why it is a better platform is you do not compete with other cleaning companies. When you speak to a lead through Google local service ads, that lead isn't being sold to multiple companies. If you can do a good enough job on the phone, answer the client's questions, if the client is happy with the pricing, you can convert 50% of those local service ads calls to clients. So LSA is a superior platform to Bark and Thumbtack. The issue is that there is an application process and it does take a few weeks to get approved. The two main parts that you need to set up in order to become an LSA approved advertiser is, firstly, you will need your LLC. You will also need to have insurance, and Google will ask for copies of these documents as you apply. You will also need to go through a background check as the business owner, and then thirdly, you will also need to have 5 Google reviews on your Google My Business profile. The Google My Business profile is something separate, and I've talked about in other videos on my channel, but essentially this is where your Google reviews are placed. This is where you can upload photos and videos of your business. And obviously, if you are just starting out and do not have any customers, the question is, how do I get 5 reviews? So the way to do it is basically to ask your friends and family if you can clean for them, whether it's you or whether you have another cleaning operative who is working with you. Ask if you can clean for them for a discounted price, and in exchange for that, if they can give you feedback and then leave you a Google review. The other thing you might do is might say, okay, I'll clean your property for free, but hopefully your friends might give you a bit of support and at least pay the cost of the cleaner, or pay 50% to give you support and get that rolling. So you will not have any paid clients at the beginning, but clean for your friends and family. In exchange for a discounted rate, ask them to leave you a 5-star review on Google. And once you get to five reviews on Google, once you have your LLC and insurance in place, you can then go through the LSA application process. As I said, it will take a few weeks to get that all set up. Depending on where you are in the country, it can be less, it can be longer. But that is why Thumbtack and Bark is a good place to start, because in those few weeks that you are waiting for LSA to come back, you can still be getting client leads, you can still be booking clients through Bark and Thumbtack. So once you are approved with LSA, you want to get that up and running as quickly as possible. Generally, the leads through local service ads will be better than Bark and Thumbtack, and essentially the question will then become, do I turn off Bark or Thumbtack and just do LSA, or do I do 50-50? And the answer is, it depends on the cost per lead that you're getting. If your LSA leads are a lot lower than Bark and Thumbtack, then yes, you probably want to be putting more money into LSA. The other thing to note is that you also need to take note of the close rate. So getting lower cost leads is one thing, but you need to be closing those leads to clients. And as I said, because Bark and Thumbtack do sell the same lead to multiple cleaning companies, you will usually find that the close rate, the percentage of those leads that you close to clients, is going to be less than on LSA. So generally, LSA is the superior platform. So what I would expect 9 times out of 10 is that you want to be maxing out your LSA budget. With LSA, you say, I want to spend whatever, $100 a week. Sometimes you can spend that full amount, sometimes you can't. Again, it depends on where you are in the country and the amount of competition, but generally I would expect most of the time that business owners would be maxing out their LSA budget, and any additional budget that they have, they would be putting into Bark and Thumbtack. So Bark and Thumbtack and LSA, you will probably be running a mixture of those 3, and that, if you are doing that properly and you've checked your pricing is not too high in the market, you want to be obviously checking your competitors to make sure your pricing isn't way high. If you are running those 3, you should be able to get to $10,000 a month pretty comfortably. You'll have probably half your new clients will be recurring clients, your weeklies, bi-weeklies, and they quickly build up, and you'll have one-time clients. Obviously, if you do a great job with your one-times, then a percentage of those will also convert to recurring clients as well. So you do not need to worry about all the other different marketing channels, flyering, Facebook ads, Yelp ads. Start with Bark and Thumbtack, do that for a few weeks to wait for LSA to get approved, add LSA in, do those 2 properly, and you'll get to 10K a month. So at 10K a month, that is when it is worth looking at Google Ads. So Google Ads differs to Google local service ads because Google Ads is basically being the it's the established advertising platform on Google Local Service Ads, the pay-per-lead platform, is relatively new. It's only been introduced a few years ago. Google Ads has really been around for 10, 15, 20 years since Google was really launched. So Google Ads differs to LSA in that you pay per click. So every time your advert is clicked, you pay so many dollars for that click. So with the local service ads, you pay per lead. So the difference here is that if someone clicks on your advert and then goes to your website, you want to try to maximize the number of people that click on your advert and then give you a call or then fill out an online contact form. So it is a slightly different platform. It can be hugely effective, but there's definitely there's a few things that you need in place to get really good results. So you do need a minimum of around $1,000 a month for your ad budget. So Google Ads can work really well, but the way it works well is by having enough data going through the platform so that it can see which clicks are getting good engagement, good interaction. And if you are spending, say, $250 a month on Google or $500 a month on Google Ads, is just not enough data to really get the machine up and running and building momentum. So that is why I tend to say $1,000 a month is the minimum level you want to get to. And obviously, as you get to $10,000 a month in your cleaning business, you're hopefully earning $2,000, $3,000 a month in profit. So you will then be able to pay for that $1,000 a month out of the profits of your business. So that's why I tend to say Bark, Thumbtack and LSA, focus on those three, get to 10K. At 10K, you should hopefully have enough budget, enough profit to invest $1,000 a month, and that's when you should then add Google Ads into the mix. So Google Ads, as I said, is a much more complicated platform. If you know what you're doing, you can do really well. 90% of the cleaning companies I see on there aren't running ads very well or very poorly. So if you know what you're doing, then you have a real edge on everyone else. So that differs to Google Local Service Ads. Local Service Ads is a very simple platform. Any cleaning company can get it up and running. So it's difficult to get an edge against your competition. So I've talked about Google Ads on many of my other videos in this channel, and we have lots of clients who we run Google Ads for, so there's some more info on those case study videos about how we structure these campaigns and the types of things you want to look at. But going back to this video, get to $10,000 a month. $10,000 a month should allow you to invest $1,000 a month, which is the minimum recommended ad budget, and then at that stage you want to add Google Ads into the mix. So at $10,000 a month, you'll have Bark and Thumbtack, LSA and Google Ads. All those three buckets, those three channels, you want to be making sure that you track everything. Have all your conversion tracking set up. You want to be tracking all your calls, all your online inquiries, and really what you want to do is see, okay, what is the cost per lead for Bark? What is it for Thumbtack? What is it for LSA? What is it for Google Ads? And the idea is that you want to max out the channel with the lowest cost leads, and then once that's filled out, then go on to the next one, and then the next one. As I said a few minutes ago, you also need to keep an eye on that close rate, because getting low cost leads is one thing, but we need to make sure that we are getting clients off those leads as well. So at 10K a month, we've got those three categories, and that should comfortably take you from 10K to 20K a month. So at 20K a month, that's when you add in SEO. So SEO stands for search engine optimization, and this is an extremely powerful part of your marketing mix. In my cleaning business, 50% of our traffic, 50% of our lead volume comes from SEO. And if you have aspirations to get to 50K and then 83K and beyond, that's obviously the $1 million mark, then you will need to have a solid SEO strategy. So at 20K a month, that is when I tell you to invest in SEO. And really there's two parts for SEO. SEO is, the first part is the maps listings in the middle of the page. So if you are based in, say, Nashville, Tennessee, and you type in maid service in Nashville, you'll find some LSA results at the top and Google Ads results at the top. In the middle of the page, you'll have the maps sections. And usually there are 3 companies there. You can see obviously the company names, the reviews, and links to the website, things like that. So the first part of SEO is getting visibility to be one of those top 3 companies, because if you are one of those 3, you'll get a large percentage of those people who are searching for maid service in Nashville. They will click on one of those 3 results on the maps listing. So there are obviously many more than 3 maid service companies in Nashville. There are probably hundreds. So really things get really interesting when you tip into page 1, when you become one of those 3 companies. So that is a big part of what SEO is. The first part is getting visibility in the maps listings. The second part of SEO is what happens below the maps listings, and those are called the organic SEO results. So this is when Google looks to your website and picks out the results that they think are most relevant for that search term. So if someone types in maid service in Nashville and your homepage has lots of content about being a maid service, cleaning company, you've got testimonials, you're talking about Nashville, you've got reviews from people in different parts of Nashville, all your images are tagged in the right way, you've got videos, all your titles contain these keywords, then Google is going to probably say, okay, yeah, these guys sound like that they are a maid service in Nashville. We're going to rank that company higher up than another company that doesn't talk about Nashville at all. I see this very, very often, that I will, a cleaning company will get in touch with me and say, yeah, can you guys run our SEO? I'll look to their website and there'll be no mention of the location. Their homepage will talk about how great a cleaning company they are and how many great clients they've got, but there's very little about the location. So it's important when we're looking at organic rankings that we put a lot of focus on the service, the fact that we're a maid service cleaning company, but we also need lots of content around our location as well. So as I said, there were a lot, I talk about SEO a lot in my other videos in the channel. If you want those, just drop me a comment and I'll add links to them. But there's lots of other things in terms of Google looking at the authority of your website, the volume of backlinks, how quickly your website loads. There's lots and lots of things that you can do to optimize your organic rankings in SEO as well. So at 20K, that's when you invest in SEO. And the reason why you need to wait until 20K is that SEO is super powerful, but you are probably going to have to invest about 6 to 9 months of work before you start seeing results, before you start getting SEO traffic, before you start getting phone calls from SEO. And that is because, moving from say page 10 on Google to 8 to 6 to 3 to 2 is progress, but no one ever goes to page 2 on Google. Things only start getting interesting once you tip into page 1. So you'll have this 6 to 9 month period where your rankings are going up, but you're still not on page 1. And then by month 6 or month 9, again, it depends on your location, how much competition there is. When you tip into page 1, that's when you'll get a big jump up in your SEO volume. So at 20K, get an SEO agency like ours or someone else. Important. You want to be working with someone that has cleaning industry experience. And at 20K, you will need to invest 6 months. You'll need to be paying an SEO management fee for 6 months and not really getting anything in return. So at 20K, the cleaning company will be earning 4-5K in profit. So in theory, you will be able to afford to have 6 months of investment before you start seeing the return. So obviously, if you're doing 5K a month or 10K a month, the company isn't generating enough money really to be able to pay and fund for 6 months investment. So at 20K, that's when I tend to say that's when you want to add SEO into the mix. And once you start getting SEO traffic, and once you start going into page 1, you will quickly accelerate from 20K to 50K, and really from 50K up to that 83K a month, which is that $1 million level. So I hope this video has been helpful. As I said, to begin with, Bark and Thumbtack's the place to focus. You can get an account and you can get leads straight away up and running. apply for a local services account, a Google local services account. That takes a few weeks. So have your Bark and Thumbtack running. Once LSA is approved, then you have Bark, Thumbtack and LSA running all together. Use those three to get to 10K a month, and then at 10K a month, then add in Google Ads at that $1,000 a month minimum ad budget, and then you'll have 4 channels that you'll be focusing on. You want to keep an eye on the cost per leads for all those, and you want to move the budget between those 4 according to which is getting you the most leads, the most clients, and then accelerate up to 20K in a month, and then at 20K a month, that's when you add in SEO, and that's when your business will hopefully be in a position to be able to invest for 6 months of work before you start to see the results. And then at 6 months, that is when you'll start to get SEO starting to add in lead volume as well. And at that stage, that's when your growth will really accelerate and you'll hit 50K very quickly after that. So I hope the video has been helpful. Do let me know if you've got any questions. If you like the content and want to be informed of future videos coming up, then please hit the subscribe button. But any questions, drop me a comment and I will get back to you. Anyway, have a fantastic rest of the day, and I'll see you on the next one.